Yes, indeed. The kid is hot tonight. Let me tell you why. Because he is on Rockin' the Mic right here on KQCK radio station. Heard exclusively on KQCK.com. What a great day we're having here in the East Valley of Arizona. It's hot. And like I said, the kid is hot tonight. So we're having a great time. I can't wait to have our next guest here on our interview. I've been very fortunate to be a Loverboy fan for many years. And I'll tell you something. My guest today is one of the few who can say that he is a founding member of a band that he started 35 years ago. Now, his smooth and catchy style has earned him fans worldwide with multi-platinum sales of albums like Get Lucky, Keep It Up, and Lovin' Every Minute of It. They continue to tour, and they continue to excite the faithful, known as the Loverboy fans. He's a wonderful guy. I can't wait to bring him on the air. Let's do that right now, featuring from Loverboy himself, the lead guitarist and founding member, Paul Dean. Paul, how you doing, bud?
Brian, it couldn't be better. I'm sitting in Montreal.
Nice.
Where there's at least 4 women to every guy. It's noon hour, and I'm sitting down looking at every girl that walks by, and every second one is a 10. It couldn't be better. I'm a happy guy.
Well, I tell you what, hot girls in love out there, you give new meaning to the album Get Lucky because it sounds like you are lucky out there today.
No kidding.
Yes.
And I gotta say that it's a real honor to be called the Kid.
Yeah.
I haven't been called that in a few decades, so thank you very much for that.
Hey, you're very welcome. I mean, hey, you hit 40 last year, so I mean, you're still a kid, so that's the way I look at it. So
exactly 40.
Right on the button, baby. So, Paul, you and I had a chance to meet face to face. I think you might remember you were played at the Talking Stick Arena out here in Scottsdale last November. I was hanging out from the station there, and we had a little time to talk backstage. And you made a nice recording on my phone for my daughter, who's 14. She's a guitar player, and I recorded you, and I said, Paul, can you say something to my daughter who is a huge guitarist? She loves your work. She loves everything from Crew to Loverboy to Def Leppard to Guns N' Roses and everything else. And you looked in the camera and you said, Morgan, get into writing music. That's where the real money is. Right.
Yeah, I know. I tell everybody that. That's my big line, man. It's true. I mean, that's where if you don't have tunes, you don't have anything, So it took me a long time to figure that out, to figure out how to write. I wrote, a couple hundred songs before I think probably The Kid Is Hot was the first one that I went, hey, now this is pretty good. I like this.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Well, the thing about Loverboy in general is that you guys are a traditional rock and roll band. And I think a lot of people nowadays sit there and say, well, today's music, it doesn't have the catchiness, it doesn't have the riffs, it doesn't have the cool drum beat, the bridges suck, the chorus is they sample a lot of stuff. I mean, you guys wrote your own music from beginning to end, and it was just excellent rock and roll. And still to this day, like I said, I have all your albums. They're all signed by you guys too, by the way, which I appreciated. And I still love throwing them on my turntable. Yes, I said turntable. And playing the old vinyl, man, because that's that rich sound that I grew up loving. And you've got a lot of fans worldwide. There's no doubt about it.
Well, that's cool. Maybe a few years back I would be able to tell the difference, but I don't know, MP3s sound pretty good to me now, but I mean, there was a time when I would put on an LP and go, oh, this is it, man.
Yeah.
But I had some work done in my studio back in Vancouver about 12 years ago, and I bartered with the guy. I says, I got 4,000 albums. How about we do a little trade here? Uh-huh. You put in the AC, and I'll give you my albums. And then that was a done deal. So that worked out okay.
I tried that with my air conditioning man the other day, and he said he wanted all of my collection. And I told him, no, just fix it and give me a bill. So I guess you got more lucky.
You can have them. I'm sorry, but I'm keeping my Loverboy albums, but you can have everything else. That's right.
And he wanted me to throw those in as part of the deal. I said, no, I'm not giving up anything like that. That's staying with me. Lucky Ones, Notorious, The Kid Is Hot Tonight, This Could Be the Night, Turn Me Loose, Love Everything. This is my collection, damn it. You ain't getting it. So, anyway. In case you're just tuning in, we are speaking to guitarist from Loverboy, Paul Dean, founding member, 35 years and running. You guys are still out there touring and kicking ass. And I got to tell you, I never got a chance to see you guys in concert until back in 2010. And you played at the you played at where I work at, actually. You played at the Wild Horse Pass Casino in Chandler, Arizona, and you played the week after Cinderella played there. And I actually won tickets from the radio station. I was jacked. I was going to buy them anyway, but I'm like, you know what? This is cool. Hey, free is good. What the heck? So my wife and I hooked up, and we decided to go because she likes Loverboy as well. And I tell you what, I was pleasantly surprised because I didn't know what to expect. And you guys just jammed the stage like crazy. Awesome show.
Well, what I always understood is that the husband and wife hook up after the Loverboy concert, if you get my drift.
We did. I hope she ain't listening. No, you guys are a live band that is just awesome to see, and I really, really enjoyed that show.
Well, we always enjoy playing. I mean, because like you were saying earlier, we're a band, and we really enjoy playing together. And a lot of people, I've read on our Facebook page, and it really made a lot of sense. There's one comment she said, "I'd love to go to a Loverboy show because you guys have so much fun that I just love to watch you guys having so much fun."
Oh,
and that's what we do. Yeah. We have fun every night. A lot of respect, a lot of love on stage, for the audience and for the musicianship and all that. So yeah, we make sure that we don't have to think about it. It just comes out. We have a really good time.
Yeah, I think Cheap Trick told me something one time. I think it was Robin Zander. He says, you know what? When we go up there, we don't even think about what we're going to do. We've been doing this for so long, and it's just like a second nature to us, just like breathing or eating or sleeping. And we go out there and we just jam, and we do it because we still love each other, we still get along, and we still love the fans and rock and roll. And I think that is the main ingredient to being successful after 35 years.
Robin Zander's the coolest, man. Those guys in Cheap Trick, we toured a lot with those guys. We just did a show the other night with them, and
I saw that.
And Rick's kid is playing drums now, and it was really a pleasure to talk to him because I'm a surf guy. That's what I cut my teeth on, surf music back in the, I was going to say in the 60s, but I'll just say back in the day, just to get rid of that. And so that was really cool to hear him that he was playing with Dick Dale. He toured all over Europe with him, and I was just picking his brain. I'm going, come on, man, what else? What kind of shows were you doing? What kind of tunes were you playing? And Rick comes in and he says, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. It was Zach or something like that.
Yeah.
His son's name. And he says, "Hey man, leave these guys alone. Get the hell out of the dressing room. Get the hell out of the dressing room. Get back to your gig." And I go, "The dad, here he is again." I mean, the Zach, I'm sorry, whatever his name is, he's 35 or something. He's been doing this forever, and the old man is still coming in and saying, "Get the hell out of here." I could laugh.
That's funny. I would love to see like you and Rick Nielsen up there jamming on stage like that together, because you talk about just two gentlemen who I really idolize as guitarists. I mean, I remember when I heard Working for the Weekend for the first time. First thing that caught me was the cowbell, of course. I mean, you got to have more cowbell, maybe. And that was
right,
absolutely. And then the guitar coming in, just tremendous. And I think the thing is, people say, well, it's this or it's that or whatever else. But the thing is that it's simple formula. It's rock and roll. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be off the charts. And it just has to be good, and it has to be people that are going to enjoy it. And based on your album sales worldwide, Paul, you made a lot of people happy, including myself. So it's really an honor to have you on the show today, man.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, when you say simple, a part of that was when we started the band, when Mike and I started the band in Calgary, our manager at the time, he owned a nightclub, and behind it they had a body shop. And it was like a cavern. Okay. It was brick walls and concrete floors and metal roof, and probably the worst possible acoustics you can imagine. And we would play the songs, and we can't do that because you're never going to hear it in a big room. Because it was like we were in this miniature arena, the same acoustics.
Yeah. And
it just led itself. Says, you know what? I think we need a 4-4 would work the best kind of groove for this song, and a real simple, guitar and bass playing the same line together, and that was. It wasn't really, we didn't really sit down and think, okay, now what's our formula going to be? It's like, I can't understand it. It's just too crazy. Let's just do it simple. And that's what it's still like that. It still works like that.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking to Paul Dean, guitarist of Loverboy, founding member since 1979. He's here on Rockin' the Mic on good old KQCK Radio. Heard exclusively and worldwide, by the way, on KQCK.com. Brian Schenk hanging with you here. We're having a great interview so far, and I'm looking forward to really kind of getting into a lot of things. I'm very happy about the turnout from this interview and the appeal that we have from the fans out there. A lot of people wrote in on emails and on the Facebook page, and I want to go ahead and get to some of those questions and comments if that's cool with you, Paul.
Yeah, man. By the way.
Here we go. We got one here from a gentleman. He just goes by John V, which is cool. So John V, he says, "Hi, Brian. Could you please ask Paul how he started playing guitar and how he developed his great style? Also, one please more question. Ask him what's his craziest story with Loverboy." There's probably a lot of them.
Oh. I don't know. I don't know if I want to incriminate myself with the craziest story about. There's a lot of wives listening in here. I don't know if I want to do that.
Make it the second. Make it the second craziest story then.
Yeah, right. Well, I tell you how I started. When I was growing up in the interior of BC, when I say the interior, I'm talking about it. stuck between two mountain ranges.
Wow.
We got one radio station that would come through.
Jeez.
It was out of Spokane, and it was a country station.
Okay.
So that's all I heard when I was 12 and I started playing. Got seriously into music when I was 12, 13. Got really interested in it. So one of my first big influences was Luther Perkins from Johnny Cash.
Oh,
and he would do this. He had to sing don tick it don tick it don tick it don tick it don. Now if you speed that up, you go da 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 da.
Sure.
So I think that influence carried over. 30 years, 40 years later, it reappeared. The ghost of Luther Perkins comes out and working for The Weeknd, and the kid is hot.
Yeah.
But that was my original roots, and then I got into surf music, as I was saying earlier, and then I went to UBC, University of British Columbia in Vancouver, and the first night I was there, I ran into an old friend of the family's, and they were looking for a guitar player, and I said, "Well, I'm here. I just moved to town. I play decent guitar." He says, "What kind of music do you play?" "We play R&B." "You play what?" I had no idea what R&B was. I'd never heard an R&B song, so it was trial by fire. I'm sitting in and I'm learning all these Stax, Motown, Steve Cropper licks, and I'm like, okay, well, here we go.
Nice.
But so that's a big basis. That taught me a lot about groove and about how to put the bottom end together with bass and drums, and
awesome.
So that's pretty much my roots right there.
Yeah. Well, I know you don't want to go into the craziest Loverboy story, but do you have one that's kind of maybe PG rated that you can kind of tell, or from your early years or whatever?
Oh man, I'm just trying to think. I can only think about one of my favorite gigs that we had. It wasn't that crazy. It's just it sticks in my mind.
Sure.
We were playing in Germany, and we were playing in this what they call a velodrome. I think it was a wooden indoor bicycle racetrack with wooden track,
nice,
like planks. Like it was really cool and an amazing sound because it was all wood and all these different angles and that. And I just remember. It was insane. We never had a crowd, mostly guys, for whatever reason, chanting "Loverboy, Loverboy." That was the coolest thing. I'll never forget the feeling of that.
That's cool.
And then there was closer to home. There was a gig in San Antonio where we came out, and we had two limos coming out of. We played the big hall there, the big arena there, and it was not. It was a bit weird. It's not like I'm bragging. It was just like I was like blown away by it.
Right.
But we came out and we were swarmed by fans, and they were actually trying to crawl inside the limo.
Yeah.
And they were actually crawling all over the limo, and we were 2 or 3 kids were on top of it as we're driving out. That was insane. And same thing in Japan too. When we played in Japan in '82, I'd never seen anything like that. It was like Hard Day's Night. We're running down the road, down the street, and all these Japanese fans are chasing us. Like it's like surreal.
Damn.
It was unbelievable.
Wow.
I've never seen anything like it.
You guys didn't say anything crazy like we're bigger than Jesus or anything at that time, did you? I mean,
No, I learned that one. That does not fly. No.
You don't want a copy of Get Lucky being smashed by a bulldozer, that's for sure. So, but no, that's tremendous because you think about back in the day how big it was, and when fans were that obsessed with your music and your quality and everything else. I mean, that just goes to show the fanatic, being in the fan, of course. So that's good stuff, and I can guarantee you that has to be one of the most awesome feelings to see that kind of craziness from the people who come out to see your shows and buy your records and stuff. That had to have been something you'll never forget.
Well, yeah, I mean, Japan we were only there for 10 days, and it was in 1982, but that's indelible. It's stamped in my brain. It was so cool. We'd get off the elevator in the morning, and there'd be 20 girls or whatever, girls and guys standing downstairs waiting for us to come off the elevator to give us gifts.
Nice.
And then we get on the bullet train, and we go 200 miles an hour down, I don't know, a couple hundred miles away, and we get off the train, and there's more kids with more gifts.
Wow.
It was really cool.
That is neat. That is really cool. And in case you guys are just tuning in here, we are speaking to Paul Dean, lead guitarist of the great group Loverboy. We're getting lucky right here. And I want to go back to some more questions here because I want to make sure that everybody who wrote in at least gets an opportunity to ask their question. I got another gentleman here named Paul Nathan, another Paul. Paul Nathan is writing in from Bedfordshire, the UK. See, we got fans all over the place, man. So he's from the UK. He says, Brian, can you ask Paul, is there any chance that we'll see Loverboy in in the United Kingdom. He says, I've been a fan for over 30 years. And before you answer that, Paul, I want to read you his perfect set list that he thought would be awesome for you to do if you ever had like a dream set list. This is what he said. He cut it down to 18 songs. Working for the Weekend, Queen of the Broken Hearts, Fire Me Up, Heartbreaker, Ain't Looking for Love, Just Getting Started, Notorious, One of Them Days, Loving Every Minute of It, Lucky Ones, Hot Girls in Love, The Kid Is Hot Tonight, Turn Me Loose, Counting the Nights, Ain't Such a Bad Thing, You Play the Star, Doing It the Hard Way, and As Good as It Gets. Boy, that's a true Loverboy fan right there.
He really knows his stuff, man. He's got the new album. It's like 6 or 7 cuts off the new album. I'm pretty impressed with that.
Yeah.
You know, I always say never. We don't have any plans to come to the UK, unfortunately. But I would love to go back there. Last time we were there, I think it was in '89. We toured with Def Leppard, opening for Def Leppard.
Wow!
I remember that we played in Edinburgh, Scotland, and that was a really cool show because we had the day off and we were touring and went through the big castle up on the hill and all the shops and the little side streets. But there's a funny thing: we're playing the show with Def Leppard, and halfway through the set, there's a guy in the front row. He stands up and he's got the sign. He's printed it. He's prepared it. I don't know if he's prepared it for Loverboy or not. I can't imagine why, but he stands up and the sign says, "Stop miming." And I'm going, what? You know, as in, you guys are faking it. You guys are got all this recorded backbone vocals and all that stuff. Give me a break.
Yeah.
I just thought that was hilarious, man.
Well, in '89, I don't think there was any kind of like sampling and pre-recorded stuff anyway, was there? I mean, was the technology even there to do that?
Yeah, I mean, we had keyboards on that.
Yeah.
You know, there were a lot of keyboard. Doug had a ton of keyboard things going on at the same time, and he would rather than carry 8 keyboards, he would carry maybe 2, and one of them would have all those sounds recorded off his other keyboards on it, just to make it logistically it wasn't such a nightmare, you know. But,
oh, sure.
Yeah. So I just thought that was a pretty cheeky thing to do.
What?
That was cool.
That idiot. I hope he's not employed right now and having a hard time. No, I'm just kidding. You mentioned some of those songs on that list that he just wrote into you on, and you talked about the new album. I got a copy right here in my little hands, which I'm showing on the webcam camera here inside our studio. Loverboy, Unfinished Business. Paul, this is a great record, man. I'll tell you, I really enjoyed this. I want to thank my good buddy Anthony Gutierrez over at Wolfson Entertainment, who represents you guys so well. I mean, you have such a fantastic publicity staff over there who take great care of people like ourselves and are just cordial and excellent at setting up things like this. So I want to first of all thank them and let you know that you have some great people representing you. And I also want to say that this album is fantastic. My favorite cut on this album, which just absolutely blows me away, from your guitar work, which is kind of like, I would say, a little Van Halen-esque to it, and I think you might know the song I'm talking about. It's my favorite on the album. It's called Slave. What a great frickin' tune that is, man. If you guys want to hear Loverboy maybe amped up to that next level of like almost kind of like a metal feel, that's the song right there on the album that just caught my attention. I played it 6 or 7 times in a row when I first heard it, because between your guitar work and Mike's vocals and Matt's drumming, it is just a fantastic, awesome song.
Oh, I appreciate that. I don't know what inspired me to write that. I wrote most of the music and part of the melody. But I have a really good friend in Vancouver, Ricky Renoff, who he's a really cool writer, and he wrote the lyrics. He came up with this concept. I said, I got this, and you say almost metal tune. Dude, this is a metal tune.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a balls to the wall, full on, no holds barred metal tune.
Yeah.
And I said I have no idea what to write about, and he came up with this scenario of this. It was a perfect. It's kind of like a movie, you know. It's like a thing out of Game of Thrones or something.
Yeah.
It's really a cool storyline. But you know what? To me, what the key thing is, it's at the very last line. He says, when Reno says that with my pop history, that's something I can't afford, and the key word is pop. So it's just, and then he laughs because it's so, it's almost silly for him to be singing it.
Yeah.
And he says, and there's no way that I'm going to be a slave to the metal horde.
Right.
The metal horde, in Ricky's view, was probably a horde of robots or monsters or something that were chasing us. But in Mike's view, I think the metal horde was the metal fans. He was not going to be a slave. How could he, a pop guy, be a slave to the metal fans?
Right.
But I still think that it stands alone as a great metal tune. So there's so much irony in this tune, but for a pop guy to be singing a metal song, I think that's pretty cool.
Oh.
I was really proud I was proud of Reno for going, you know what, I like the song. I don't care if I'm a pop guy or if I'm a ballad guy or whatever I am.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And he sang the hell out of it. I was really proud of him.
Without a doubt, that's my favorite track on this album. And sometimes if I just have 5 or 10 minutes, take a quick shower or something like that, I'll pop that one on, and I'll just rock my ass off because just that drum, that Matt is a tremendous drummer. First of all, I mean, all you guys are accomplished, fine-tuned professional musicians, and you still continue this day to just really impress me when you guys are out there on stage. I mean, it's so tight, it's so perfect. Mike's voice is held up so wonderfully, and I'm not going to name names, but there are a lot of bands out there that just, I think, after 35 years, like you have been together, maybe even longer, should just hang it up and say, you know what, either get a new singer or whatever, but Mike has still just impressed me with his range and his vocals and his octave. I mean, he's so good. You guys just continue to really just make all Loverboy fans out there so proud, and we're so happy that you're such a tight-fit unit after all these years. So I just want to let you know that.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, Mike is amazing. Most of about half of the tunes on the album were sung within the last 6 months. Mm-hmm. So, he's definitely still got the pipes.
Yeah. Now, I have another question from Teresa Selby, and I'm going to see where she's checking in from here. Let's see. I guess she's from Indiana. So, Lisa from Indiana, she writes in and says, is there ever a chance... oops, I just lost the question here. Hold on, let me pull it back up. Here it is. She said, I have a question. Is Loverboy ever going to play a couple songs from the new album on a live performance? I haven't seen you since the album came out, so I don't know if you are playing any new albums... any new songs from the album now in your sets?
It's funny. I saw that question.
Did you?
And I said, okay, how am I going to answer this question? But once again, it's never say never. We've been trying to do it. I'm just amazed that we were able to get this album together.
Yeah.
That was I had to go to, for instance, Matt lives in North Carolina.
Okay.
And the three of us live in Vancouver, and Ken Spider-Eve, our bass player, lives in Winnipeg, which is in the center of Canada.
Yeah.
Kind of. So we're just lucky to be able to record a little bit, and we sent a lot of stuff back and forth. I know this sounds a little crazy, but we emailed our parts in. I sent Spider the track for Hardway, doing it the hard way, and I said I have no idea what you should do on the bass. I have something that I played on it, but it basically sucks, and I know that you can kill it. So what do you got? Yeah. So he played it for me, or recorded it, and emailed me the part, and I put it into the mix. I mailed it back, and he went, I can do better. So he produced it himself, recorded it himself, and sent it back. I went, oh, that's killer, man. So I popped it in, and there you go. That was the track. And the same thing with Doug with the keyboards and on that song and on Slave. I just said, for Slave, I said, John Lord. That's all I said. I just got it. So he cranked up the distortion on the B3 setting on his synth, and that's what you get. So that was very cool. It's cool. A cool way to do it. It's to be honest, I'd rather do it live in the studio altogether, because that's where but sometimes you just can't do it like that. So
yeah. Well, when you got someone living in North Carolina and 3 people here and someone there, it's a hard thing to do. And I know nowadays, the technology is obviously there to do that. And if you know what you're doing with the electronic part of it and everything with the technology, it makes it quite simple. And hey, that's just the way it is nowadays. Paul, I want to switch gears for a moment here if I can, because we had some sad news here this past week, and it's something I want to touch on. And it was on your Facebook page right below our listing here for the interview. And I was really floored by this news because I was such a huge fan of this group, just like yourselves. Jimi Jamison, lead singer of Survivor, had passed away on Sunday due to a heart attack at his home, age of 63. I know you guys toured together many times. You were friends, you were acquaintances, you were brothers in rock. This was a real shock because they were actually going to play in a month where I work at, like I told you about, at Wild Horse Pass, and I was looking forward to that show so much. Things have obviously changed since then, but how well did you know Jimi, and what were your initial thoughts and reaction to his untimely passing?
And I didn't know Jimi that well. I spent a little bit of time with him backstage. He came out to 3 or 4 of our shows.
Right.
And the thing that struck me about him, just like Mike says, a big heart, big smile.
Yeah.
And he's one of the great rock stars that doesn't have an agenda, There's no, I am a rock star, what can you do for me?
Right.
None of that. He was just the coolest guy. He came out with his family. He's like the guys in Loverboy. We're all so much into our families, and that's another reason why we haven't been able to get the live thing going for the new album. But it's because family's always first. And with Jimi, he was part of our family. You know, I know he was a great friend of Mike's. They did a lot of shows together, a lot of benefits things and golf tours, and mainly benefits. And Jimi had a heart of gold, man, and just the easiest guy to laugh and always smiling, and couldn't do enough for you. You know, he's just that kind of guy. I got his number on my phone, and I mean, I don't have many rock stars, you know, when I put that in big quotes, phone numbers. You know, it's I got the cool guys, and he was definitely one of the cool guys.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice dedication and some kind words for you. I know there's a lot of fans out there who were really affected by this, including myself. It was just such a sad thing because, I mean, he was out there touring just that week before he passed, and you know, unfortunately, you know, I guess that's what life can give us sometimes. And I just, you know, rest in peace, Jimi Jamison. God bless you for all your wonderful music you've given us. Your voice was absolutely gold, and just like you said, a nice guy. I wish I knew him, but it's a good thing that you did. I want to go back to these questions. These fans are tremendous, Paul. You've got a lot of great fans. Patty Parsons says, I have a question. She says, has there been any talk about the band wanting to retire after 35 years? Well, she says...
I saw that.
Yeah, she says, after 35 years, I can't blame them, but I selfishly hope they do not. So is there any, you know, have you ever talked about, you know, hanging up the boots, or is it kind of like, let's just see where we go and go from there? I mean...
I can only speak for myself. I don't know what goes on in everybody else's mind, but there's no way I'm going to hang it up. I mean, I love to play. That's what I do.
Yes.
I mean, I love being in the studio and writing and all the other stuff that goes along with it, and the Facebook photos and all that stuff. But I love to play. I mean, I'm a guitar guy, and I'm always working on my amp. I'm always working on my guitars, trying stuff, looking for that magic sound, and then I just can't wait to try it out on the poor suckers in the audience. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, we just have too much fun. We love to play our tunes, and we love to play together, and we love to see the fans respond the way they do when they light up, and you know, when they stand up and they get going. I mean, that just makes our week. You can imagine. If you look at the other side, the darker side of touring, I mean, we did a show this last week. It took us 21 hours to get to the show. One of our flights got canceled, and we had to take a red eye to get there.
Wow!
And then we got on stage, and it was a rainstorm, and our set got cut from an hour and a quarter to 45 minutes. But we still went on stage and totally kicked butt. Nice. Because that's what we do.
Yep.
We do love to play.
Yep.
You know, and so why would anybody want to give that up? Even with all the other, you know, what I always say, 22 and a half hours of boredom, followed by an hour and a half of chaos, you know, and total fulfillment. It's like a dream. It really is. So, we're not about to hang it up. At least I'm not.
Good. I was kind of like reprehensive about asking that question because I'm like, God, I hope he doesn't say yes. They're thinking about it, because I would hate to hear that answer. But the fans are the ones. The fans. The fans.
Yes, we're thinking about it
in about 100 years. No, but you know, the fans.
Yeah, exactly.
The fans obviously ask the questions, and it's a good, honest question, and I want to make sure I threw it out there because that's what it's all about. A lot of people are saying, "Hey, I wish you played here. I wish you played there. I wish you can come here and do this and do that in all these cities." And you know, unfortunately, if you can't get to every city, but all I can really say is just keep checking the website and find out where they're playing. And I think that's probably the best answer we could probably give you. I'm thinking. So.
You know, the only thing I can think of is somebody wants us to play their area. They got to seek out the promoter, the local promoter, and get all their friends or whatever, and just inundate the guy with requests. Come on, we want Loverboy. And maybe they'll go, oh yeah, Loverboy. Yeah, I'll give the agent a call and we'll book them. Excellent. I can't see any other way of doing it, you know?
Hey, you know what? That's the way to do it nowadays. Pick up the phone or go there in person, because you're right, Paul. That does happen, because I've seen it happen firsthand where people have been inundated with, hey, get so-and-so here, and they've actually done it. So now, Paul, before we go, because first I want to say I really appreciate the time, but every time I have someone on the air here on Rockin' the Mic, what I like to do is 5 quick questions. And these are just quick answers, quick questions. First thing that comes to your head, it can be a sentence, it can be a paragraph, whatever you want to do. I just want to get your first initial reaction and your first answer that pops into your awesome genius head, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Question number 1. If I was going to the electric chair and I had a last meal, I would tell the warden to bring me...
You know, cholesterol be damned. Bring me a big steak.
Little lobster on the side, maybe?
Yes,
nice.
Absolutely.
Nice. I like it. Okay. You know, here's another one. I love this question because it's so interesting to hear the answers to this one. There's a song that I heard, and I hear it almost every day, and I wish I wrote that song. That song is...
My Sharona. Man, I love that song. But I couldn't believe it. When I hit the airwaves, I went, this is me.
Yeah.
This is me. This is my riff. This is my melody. This is my Sharona. I couldn't believe it. That's such a great song.
The Knack.
That's the first thing that pops into my mind.
Yeah, The Knack. Great rock band. Great band.
Yep.
You know,
yep.
and everybody knows that song, and they also know the other part of it when Weird Al Yankovic did My Bologna. So,
What? Unfortunately, I missed that one.
You just look it up on YouTube. You'll get a good laugh out of it. So yeah, that's a great pick because everybody knows that. That's kind of like everybody knows Working for the Weekend, and obviously everybody knows My Sharona and with Satisfaction, for instance, or Back in Black. I mean, that is a great song.
Oh, yeah.
Great riff, great stuff. Easy. Okay, number 3. If I had 10 minutes to spend with anybody, living or dead, that person would be.
Marilyn Monroe, are you kidding?
Ooh, yeah. I might need more than 10 minutes with Marilyn. Well, maybe not.
Yeah. I'm not going there, okay?
Yeah. It's probably a good thing. No, tell me why. Are you a big fan of just her beauty or her acting or both? I know it's easy to see why you like Marilyn Monroe. I do too, my God. But, is there a reason why?
Maybe her vulnerability. I don't know, man. She's just such a sweetheart from what I've seen, you know, and just damaged and just sensitive and all that stuff and beautiful and I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It's probably all manufactured. I have no idea what she was like, but that's the first thing that popped into my mind.
Awesome. Well, that'd be something you could ask her if you had the 5 minutes or 10 minutes to spend with her. Norma Jean, beautiful lady. Oh, I love Marilyn Monroe. Ooh, she's hot. Anyway, okay. Let's see. In my set when we play. The song that I love playing the most is?
This Could Be the Night.
This Could Be the Night?
And,
okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting deep into my psyche here, but there has been many nights on occasion, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times in our career, if something's going on during the day, with my family or in the band or in the world for that matter, if something tragic has happened and we play that song, I have trouble singing that song.
Wow.
I really do. That song, it just pours out of me. And it did when I wrote it. It was just, I don't know. And I love the freedom I have as a guitar player to play different every night. And Mike sings it the hell out of it. I mean, he really understands that song. Yeah. And we played Puerto Rico, and that was their favorite song down there. I couldn't believe it when we finished that tune. The crowd went insane, and we just played in Chihuahua, Mexico, and it was the same thing. And shout out to all our buds down there too. Thank you very much. Oh, and I don't know what it is, or maybe it's the Latin thing, or I don't know. But that tune is it really gets me turned around inside, So,
very cool. Yeah, I didn't expect that answer, but that's a good one, and I like your reasoning for it because I think that's what music's all about. A song is all about when it hits you really deep inside and just has a special meaning to you in your heart and your brain and your soul and everything, your spirit. I mean, that's what music's all about, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Love it. Okay, last question for you, Paul. Of the 5 quick questions, out of all the albums we've released, still to this day, my favorite one is.
I got to go with Get Lucky.
Yeah.
Just for the, it has Take Me to the Top. Take Me to the Top is my second favorite song to play live. And the cool thing about that song is it was a demo. It was a 16-track demo that we cut the same day that we cut our demo for Working for the Weekend and Lucky Ones. And,
really?
And funnily enough, we tried re-recording it when we went to do the album for real, and we couldn't get it. So we went back to that. I think we may have recut the lead vocal on that, and we put a a different sax on it, or no, I think we took the sax off it and we put a guitar solo on it.
Yeah, guitar.
Yeah. So it's got that, and It's Your Life, which we still play, and When It's Over, and Gangs in the Street, which we play occasionally, which is a really cool song to play. We haven't played it in a couple of years, but
nice.
It's still pretty fresh. We still jam on it at soundcheck sometimes. One of these days we'll pull it out. So to me, that's the real album. Although I really love the first album too, with the Kid Is Hot and Turn Me Loose.
Hell yeah!
And one of my favorite songs from that first album is It Don't Matter. I mean, where did that come from? You know?
Yeah, it's a good song. Well, the song I like on Get Lucky that I don't know if you've played it live or not, but it's one of my favorites, and it's actually very catchy. And if I'm not mistaken, I thought Bryan Adams helped write it, was Jump. Love that song.
We do play that every night. Every night. Well, just good. Pretty much. It's usually an encore, but he did write it, and he and Jim Balance had it started, and he gave it to us, and we finished it off. I think we came up with 3 or 4 lines. There wasn't a whole lot to finish it off, and
wow.
I think I might have written a new guitar riff for it, and Bryan was gracious enough to let us release it. So cool. Thank you, Bryan.
Yeah. Hey, we got one last email. It just popped up here. I want to make sure I get to it. And I'm trying to see. Amy. It just says Amy. That's all it says. So Amy asks, can you kind of give us some information and background about the video for Queen of the Broken Hearts? I remember on MTV back in the day, there was a contest for somebody to win and be in the video. To my recollection, I never saw anybody in the video except the girls who were running through the desert with you. Can you please clear this up? I also heard that there was some kind of confrontation or some sort of, I can't read what this says here, some sort of confrontation, some sort of something, I guess, here with the person who won the contest. Can you please clear that up for us? That's a good question.
That is a good question. I have to be very tactful here. Apparently, she had to wait quite a while before she could do her part.
Uh-huh.
She was on set for a few hours,
okay.
And I guess at catering there was a bit of wine and maybe a few beers, and perhaps there might have been a Mickey of scotch smuggled in onto the set.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, but I think she was dipping a little bit. So that's what I heard, but. If you look real closely, there's a cave scene,
okay,
and it flashes on her, and I think she's at a computer terminal, and that's the contest winner. But I think she might have been a little bit unhappy with her situation. I don't want to say too much because I didn't even meet her. I don't want to badmouth her, and that was a long time ago. And
yeah,
I mean, I wish her well. I mean, that was a pretty cool thing, and we had a lot of contests on MTV, and that was a pretty cool idea.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, she didn't get featured because I think it was a personality conflict with her and the director. Like Amy said, I think that might have been true. I didn't, I was too busy trying to catch my breath from running around in 104 heat, loaded up with Road Warrior gear,
Yeah, you guys are putting a lot of energy into that video, man, more so than usually in your shows. I mean, that was a great interview. You talked about MTV really quick before we go. We only got a couple minutes left, but, MTV, and I still to this day, when my kids watch MTV, they're 17 and 14, and all MTV now is shows. Crappy shows about teenagers and this and that and everything else. Someone's getting pregnant, someone's getting shot, someone's doing this, someone's cheating on this person. I mean, these shows just make my mind numb. I mean, it hurts, okay? It's awful. It's like playing Black Sabbath at 78 speed. It's hard to understand. But good analogy. Thank you. But, MTV was so special, Paul, back in the day because it was videos. It was Martha Quinn. It was Mark Goodman. It was Alan Hunter. It was J.J. Jackson. It was Nina Blackwood. And it's scary that I remember all their names like that off the top of my head. But still, it was so cool because they had videos. They had contests. They had cool commercials, Friday night video fights. They had the top 20 MTV video countdown, everything, Headbangers Ball, you name it, they had it. And that was such an awesome thing and such a benefit for your guys' career among so many other artists out there that really helped you guys get into that spotlight.
That was the golden age, man. It was totally. I remember we were in Wichita touring, and I woke up one morning in my hotel room, and I'm flicking around the channels in my little 10x10 hotel suite with my 12-inch TV up on the top of the dresser, and I'm going, okay. Oh, wait, what's this? Music video. Okay, well, that's cool. I didn't know they were doing that.
Yeah.
Then I sat around it. I tell you, I watched MTV for the first time. I probably watched it 8 hours that day.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't believe how cool this was.
Yeah.
And we just started, and our first album was out. And So we worked, we toured like crazy, opening for ZZ and all these other bands, and we finally got a break, all of us, and we went down to Mexico for a holiday, 3 of us, and we were there for 3 days, and we got a call from our manager saying, "We're cutting Turn Me Loose in New York City. You got to get on the first plane and get the hell up there because it's back to work, boys."
Wow.
And I went, "MTV, I'm so there, man." And we were, we left our wives down there. We had no money. Here's another story with that. My wife, Denise, we left. We didn't even think about it. She said, "Well, absolutely, you got to go do that." So we were, we didn't have a whole lot of money. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And so we'd scrape together enough for this holiday. So we're gone. We're in New York City cutting the video. So here's Denise and her 2 friends. They're on the plane. Denise is standing outside. She can't afford the $25 exit fee.
Oh,
it's free to come into the country, but you want to leave, it costs you $25. So I swear, she didn't have $25.
Oh, no.
She's standing there. She's got no passport. Well, no, maybe she did. I don't even know if she had her passport. Probably didn't. And she's standing there going, and unfortunately, there was a club owner on board who was staying at the same resort, who knew her from all our days playing at his club in Vancouver. He came off the plane, paid the security or the gendarme or whoever it was, paid them his $25, and Denise got on the plane and basically was able to escape Mexico with her life.
Wow.
So that was our my favorite MTV story.
Yeah. Yeah, it was hard to come up with one for the Loverboy story, but that MTV one came right off the tongue. That was pretty scary stuff, man, trying to get out of that country like that. It's amazing.
I know.
Oh,
It's way different now. It's way cool.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what's also cool is you coming on the show today and having a great interview with us. This has been, I'm not blowing smoke here, but this is the best interview we've ever had on Rockin' the Mic. I really appreciated your enthusiasm, your happiness to be on the show, just the dedication you've shown over the years, the true answers, the happiness that you show in your voice and in your attitude. I mean, like you said, you're going to keep doing this until you drop dead. And you know what? Let's hope that's 100 years from now, because I love your live shows. I love the music you guys have given us. The new album's tremendous. It's called Unfinished Business. Go out and get this, because you will definitely not be disappointed. This is a great rock album. And when you think about bands, continuing on in their lives into their, later years, but the energy is still there. The songwriting is still there. The rhythm, the drums, the keyboards, it's all there, unlike anybody can give you like Loverboy. So I just want to let you know that, and thank you very much.
Now, that's one hell of a plug. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. And you know what? When you get back out here to Arizona, I hope we can hook up again and get a chance to say hi backstage or whatever, because you guys are always very cordial to all of us. And it'd be great to see you once again and shake your hand in person and just maybe get a photo or whatever for the wall here. I'd love to have that. And anything you want to say to the fans before you go, Paul?
Well, because this is worldwide, I just want to say thanks to everybody for tuning in.
Yes.
And I wish I was there on screen with you. I was watching you doing the Eddie Money thing and holding up the albums and stuff. And it's funny, Eddie and Loverboy are playing together very shortly. So I'll definitely I'll give him a nod.
Please.
Because he did a great job. Yeah, for sure.
And look, do me a favor. I told you that you were my favorite guest. Don't tell Eddie I said that, okay? Because I don't want to. Eddie's a stitch. Eddie is an absolute stitch. He's a great guy. We had a tremendous interview, but we really dove into some really nice issues today on the show, and I hope all the fans out there enjoyed it. I know I sure as hell did, and I really do appreciate you coming on the show, my friend.
Well, I appreciate it, too. Thanks so much, guys.
Okay, Paul, you have a good day. Hey, be careful out there touring. Have a good time and be safe, and keep rocking, my man.
I am rocking.
Walking and rocking. I smell a new song. In the works. Walking and rocking. All right, Paul, take good care, man.
Okay, guys. See ya.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, there you go. Paul Dean, Loverboy. It's awesome to have heard his voice and to hear his stories and everything else. And I was fortunate to have him on the show. I want to thank Paul Dean for joining us right here on Rockin' the Mic. And I also appreciate him checking out the other shows. And he kind of did his homework. I'm impressed. I love it. Like I said, Unfinished Business from Loverboy, a great album. A definite good rock album. And like I said, even if you don't get a chance to get the album, just go on YouTube, check out some of the tunes that are there, and just listen to Slave. That is a kick-ass mofo song, baby, right there. Slave is tremendous. If you like something really heavy and a little bit raunchy and just some great guitar licks, there's a little Steve Vai in there, there's a little Van Halen in there, there's some good Alex Van Halen on the drum there. And I'm not saying that that's who you're listening to, but there's some really good kind of mix there that Loverboy brought into their product that they they had currently and kind of expanded that. So a great album. All their albums are good. I love them all. So we're going to leave you with a song here from Loverboy, which is probably, I would definitely say this is their biggest one they ever did, and it's one of my favorites still to this day, Working for the Weekend. I want to say thanks to everybody out there who tuned into the show today. If you didn't get a chance to, we'll definitely put this on the Facebook page, and I want to definitely thank once again my good friend Anthony Gutierrez over at Wolfson Entertainment. Anthony is tremendous. I can't say more good things about the gentleman. He helped us out tremendously, made things happen. Anthony, you're a fine addition to that facility there, and you are definitely an asset to that company. You did a great job for us, my friend. I really do thank you for setting us up for us. He did the same thing with us for Mike Reno. Hey, you know what? There's 3 other band members. Maybe we'll get Spider, Matt, and Doug on here too. That would be awesome. Let's do a Loverboy jam fest here. So a rock block with Loverboy, baby. So anyway, like I said, thanks for tuning in to Rockin' the Mic. Keep watching our Facebook page on KQCK. Just join it, like it whenever we have updates on new shows, because we never know who we're going to have on the show from one time to the other. We'll definitely update our page like we always do, give you a heads up and stuff like that. So if you're a music fan of different genres and different bands, you definitely want to join us on KQCK's radio page right there on Facebook. You can't miss it. Go check it out. And again, thank you all for who sent in the questions, emailed us, Facebooked us, everything. We really do appreciate that. And again, thank you, Paul Dean of Loverboy, original founding member, guitarist extraordinaire. It was great talking with you. Hope you guys had fun. I sure as hell did. And right now, it's only Thursday. Go, Pack, go. We're working for the weekend. Well, actually.